Building Mark II the summer of 1945. It was a hot summer in Cambridge. Naturally, since it was World War II, we were working in a World War I temporary building. No air conditioning, screens weren't very good, Mark II stopped. We finally located the failing relay. It was one of the big signal relays. And inside the relay, beaten to death by the relay contacts, was a moth about this big. So the operator got a pair of tweezers and very carefully fished the moth out of the relay, put it in the logbook, put Scotch tape over it, and below it he wrote, "First actual bug found."
This point you may ask, if an electronic feed was taken to just a form of which, why is electronic failed to fail?
ByteQuest was sort of a surprise to us, an unexpected idea that was suggested by one of the members. It was like, why always looking at human history where we can look at other things? What about computers? And that's how the game was born. The game starts with the main character being an average student. He's in a class, he's bored, so he sleeps. And when he wakes up actually in a dream, he finds himself in the same class but empty. Nobody's there. So he gets up and starts looking around. And we saw that dreams were the perfect place for the students to actually meet the pioneers, the scientists and all. So he's supposed to enter each class and find, for example, Grace Hopper, George Boole, Tommy Flowers, etc. So what the game is supposed to deliver is information, new information about each scientist. The student is supposed to meet each scientist at a given class, talk to him a little, give him a challenge, and finally walk out with a new information, which was good for the player. If you say that this is the positive part about the educational side, we tried to make the game interesting by extracting from each concept or each event in history a challenge mechanism, a puzzle mechanism to make the game again interesting. This of course makes the game upgradable, so at each version we can add more scientists, more events and more challenges, so the game would never cease to evolve. And of course we don't forget the things that make the game even more interesting, from background music to sound effects to punchlines in dialogues and so on. So I think that's it, so we can move on to the gameplay. The first challenge being him, the student, meeting George Boole, the mathematician who have put in place the foundation of logical mathematics. And it's about the logical and the logical OR. So we said, why not having a game of switches and doors? You must open the doors using the switches, of course, but the switches having two values, either on or off, and each door related to an equation. You have to verify the equation using the switches so that you open a door. Okay, let's have successive doors and multiple equations, and that's it. That was the first challenge. The next challenge was meeting with Grace Hopper, the person that you saw talking at the university. She was having a lecture in 1993, if I'm not wrong. As she said in her lecture, a real bug, a moth, was found in a room-sized computer in 1947, and that was actually the first bug ever to be found in a computer. And this actually reflects in the game when you are having the challenge of finding physically a bug inside of a computer, which was in a maze, I think. This reflects the idea that all the programmers are, till now, having problems, having bugs they have to find and track. It reflects the pain that programmers go through. And it also tells you that if you're a programmer and you face a bug, you are not the first one to have a bug, certainly not the last one. The last challenge for our prototype game, because again, our game is scalable, is the scientist Bob Thomas, who created the first ever computer virus, the Creeper, and afterwards the antivirus, the Reaper. So the idea here, the challenge was to fight against a virus, trying to kill it, while also having that constraint that every period of time, a fixed period of time, the virus gets split again and again and again in half, and this actually reflects the virus's ability to replicate itself. Now, of course, the goal here is to kill the virus. All of these challenges are meant to make the player remember these historical events in the computer timeline. For perspectives, we look forward to add more levels, add more events, and more information for the player to learn. We will add scoring system to make the game more interesting, having history points. So each time you finish a challenge, you get points that make you able to play other challenges and other levels. Of course, to enhance the game experience, we will add a pausing system, options, settings, replay, etc. Being at the Game Jam was a great experience for us all five. We have brainstormed, wrote some code, experienced game dev. It was the first time for me, and it's actually great. And yeah, of course you can try out our game by either running the executable file or opening our Unity project and running the game.